Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news all right. Bills fans, strap in because the NFL landscape is buzzing with some serious rumors and potential blockbuster moves that could shake up the AFC East and the entire conference. The latest whispers are pointing towards a possible trade that could see Khalil Mack, the veteran pass rusher from the Los Angeles Chargers, donning the Bills' jersey sooner rather than later. Now I know what you're thinking. Khalil Mack. That guy is a Hall of Fame caliber talent, and if this deal goes through, it would be a game changer for Buffalo's defense and their Super Bowl aspirations. Let's dive into what's being discussed. Reports from reputable insiders like Adam Schefter suggest that the Bills are deep in negotiations to acquire Mack, with talks reportedly so intense that the possibility of a trade happening as soon as this offseason is very real. The Chargers, currently sitting with a 7-10 record projected for 2025 and facing cap constraints, about $28 million, are in a tricky spot. They're also dealing with the pending extension for quarterback Justin Herbert, which makes cap space tight. Some sources indicate that the Chargers might be open to trading Mack for a first-round pick in the 2027 draft, which would be a huge haul for a player of Mack's caliber. Meanwhile, NFL insider Jeremy Fowler reports that the talks are so serious that almost all signs point towards a deal, but there's no official confirmation yet. Now, the reasoning behind this potential move is pretty clear. The Chargers are in a bit of a rebuild mode, especially on defense, and they're looking to recoup assets that can help them rebuild around Herbert. Trading Mack could free up cap space and also bring in draft picks or younger players to help the Chargers move forward. On the other hand, the Bills see this as a golden opportunity to bolster their pass rush, which has been a concern in recent seasons. Von Miller, the team's veteran pass rusher, had a solid year with 8 sacks, but adding a player like Mack would elevate their front 7 to a whole new level. It's like injecting a veteran assassin into a defense that's already pretty good but needs that extra push to reach elite status. And let's not forget, Mack isn't just a name. This guy is a proven game changer. In 2024, he tallied 17 sacks and has a career total of over 110 sacks. He's been an 8-time Pro Bowler and was the Defensive Player of the Year back in 2016. When healthy, he's a nightmare for offenses, creating pressure, forcing turnovers, and dominating the line of scrimmage. His ability to generate sacks and pressures is second to none, and he's still playing at an elite level. PFF has him graded at 92. And he's consistently among the top edge defenders in the league. If he joins Buffalo, it would give the Bills a true game wrecker on defense, something they desperately need to push them over the top in the playoffs. Now, why would the Bills be so eager to make this move? Well, for starters, their pass rush has been a bit inconsistent. Von Miller's presence is huge, but he's not getting any younger, and the team needs that reliable, elite pass rusher to help them in high-pressure situations. Mack would step right in and amplify their pass rush, especially against AFC opponents. His addition is projected to add over 14 sacks to the Bills' total, boosting their pressure rate by more than 22%. That's a game changer because, in the NFL, pressure equals turnovers and turnovers win championships. With Mack, the Bills could see a 15% increase in forced turnovers, which would elevate their entire defense and give their offense more short fields and scoring opportunities. Now looking at the stats comparison, Mack versus their current edge rushers paints a clear picture. Mack has 5 sacks so far with 98 pressures and 3 forced fumbles in his career. Von Miller, by comparison, has 8 sacks and 60 pressures. Mack's ability to consistently generate pressure and sacks would make a huge difference, especially when paired with Miller and the other guys like Greg Rousseau and A.J. Epinesa. The Bills' defense would become more disruptive, more aggressive, and more capable of shutting down the league's top offenses. And let's talk about the impact on the team's overall outlook. Building around a dominant pass rush is a proven formula in the NFL. The Bills' offensive core, led by Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs, is already among the league's best, but to truly contend for a Super Bowl, they need that extra push on defense. Adding Mack would not only provide immediate production, but also send a message to the rest of the league. Buffalo is serious about winning it all this year. It's a move that could significantly improve their chances in the playoffs, especially if they can get him on a team-friendly deal or a short-term extension. Now, I know some fans might be cautious about giving up a first-round pick in 2027, but when you're talking about a player like Khalil Mack, the short-term gains can be astronomical. Plus, the Bills have been strategic in their draft picks and roster moves, so this trade could be a calculated risk worth taking. The Bills' front office has shown they're willing to make bold moves when it counts, and bringing in a veteran of Mack's caliber aligns perfectly with their championship window. Looking at the bigger picture, this move isn't just about adding another star. It's about creating a defensive identity that strikes fear into opponents. It's about establishing a pass rush that can dictate game flow and help the Bills dominate on third down. And with the AFC becoming more competitive every year, especially with teams like Kansas City and Cincinnati, Buffalo needs to stack their roster with playmakers who can produce under pressure. Mack's presence would be a massive boost, and it would also light a fire under the defense, motivating everyone else to elevate their game. Let's take a deeper look into the Buffalo Bills' historical context. The franchise, founded in 1960, has a storied legacy filled with legendary players like Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, and Andre Reed. Despite their rich history, the Bills famously endured a Super Bowl drought that lasted over 3 decades, with their last appearance in Super Bowl XXVII in 1993. Since then, the team has been on a relentless quest to reclaim that glory, transforming into a perennial playoff contender over the past few seasons. In recent years, the Bills have been characterized by a high-powered offense led by Josh Allen, one of the league's most dynamic quarterbacks. Since being drafted in 2018, Allen has evolved into a top-tier signal caller, known for his arm strength, mobility, and leadership qualities. In 2023 alone, he threw for over 200 yards with a completion percentage of 68.9%, and he accounted for 35 total touchdowns, 25 passing, 10 rushing. His ability to extend plays and make big throws under pressure has made him a nightmare for defenses. But his success has always been complemented by a solid supporting cast, including Stefon Diggs, Gabe Davis, and Dawson Knox. Stefon Diggs, acquired via trade from the Minnesota Vikings in 2020, has become one of the league's premier wide receivers. In 2023, Diggs recorded over 300 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns, consistently providing Allen with a reliable, explosive target. His route running, hands, and ability to make contested catches have been instrumental in Buffalo's offensive success. The Bills' offensive line has been decent but has faced challenges, especially against top pass rushes, which is why bolstering the defense with an elite pass rusher like Mack could be the missing piece. Defensively, the Bills have historically been a strong unit, anchored by players like Ed Oliver along the interior line and linebacker Matt Milano, who's known for his coverage ability and run-stopping prowess. The secondary, led by Tre'Davious White, has been solid, but injuries and inconsistency have sometimes hampered their effectiveness. Adding a player of Mack's caliber would significantly enhance their pass rush and overall defensive identity, making them more formidable against passing offenses. When discussing the AFC East, it's impossible not to mention the New England Patriots' decline and the Miami Dolphins' emerging talent. The Dolphins, led by Tua Tagovailoa and an explosive offense featuring Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, have become a serious threat, especially with their speed and offensive prowess. The Patriots under Bill Belichick have been rebuilding but still possess a tough, disciplined defense. The Jets, with Aaron Rodgers now at the helm, are also a team to watch, especially if they bolster their defense further. For the Bills, staying ahead in this division requires strategic moves, like potentially acquiring Mack, to maintain their dominance and push for their first Super Bowl victory since 1995. Looking ahead, the Buffalo Bills' future with a strengthened defense is promising. The NFL's parity means any team can have a breakthrough season, but the Bills' core talent and strategic front office decisions put them in a prime position. The addition of a player like Khalil Mack could set the stage for a deep playoff run, possibly culminating in a Super Bowl appearance. Historically, teams that dominate their divisions and possess a balanced roster, offense and defense, are the most consistent contenders. Buffalo's focus on building a formidable pass rush and their willingness to make bold moves signals their readiness to compete at the highest level. Expectations for the upcoming season are high. The Bills are expected to be among the top contenders in the AFC, with many analysts projecting them as a top-5 team based on their roster talent and coaching staff. Sean McDermott, their head coach, has been praised for his defensive schemes and leadership. If they can add Mac, it would significantly boost their chances, especially in playoff scenarios where a relentless pass rush can be the difference maker. From an analytical standpoint, the impact of Khalil Mack's addition would be multifaceted. His presence on the defensive line would draw double teams, freeing up other pass rushers like Rousseau and Epinesa to operate in one-on-one situations. This would effectively increase the Bills' pressure rate and sack totals, disrupting opposing quarterbacks and reducing their completion percentages. Additionally, Mack's run defensibility adds another layer of versatility, helping to contain the run game of AFC opponents like Cincinnati and Kansas City. Furthermore, the psychological impact on opponents cannot be overstated. Facing a defense with Mack in the lineup would force offensive coordinators to alter their game plans, potentially leading to more conservative play calling or increased pressure on quarterbacks. This in turn could lead to more turnovers and scoring opportunities for Buffalo's offense. Let's also analyze the financial aspect of this potential move. Khalil Mack's current contract, which includes a base salary of around $12 million in 2023, is manageable within the Bills' salary cap structure, especially if restructuring or extension options are explored. The Bills have demonstrated a willingness to be flexible with cap space, and a short-term extension or restructuring could make Mack's acquisition more feasible. The long-term benefits, in terms of on-field production and playoff success, could outweigh the financial considerations. In terms of team chemistry, adding a veteran leader like Mack could also serve as a mentorship role for younger players like Rousseau and Epinesa. His experience, leadership, and work ethic would influence the entire defensive unit, fostering a culture of excellence and accountability. This is especially important as the Bills look to sustain success over multiple seasons and contend for a Super Bowl title. Let's not forget the broader NFL landscape. The league continues to evolve with offenses becoming more explosive and defenses adjusting accordingly. The Bills' pursuit of a player like Mack signals their commitment to staying ahead of the curve. In recent years, teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, with their high-powered offense, have shown that elite defense can be the key to beating the best. For Buffalo, acquiring Mack would be a strategic move to ensure they're not just competing but dominating. In conclusion, the potential trade for Khalil Mack represents a seismic shift for the Buffalo Bills, an aggressive, calculated move aimed at elevating their defense to elite status. It's a move that could accelerate their Super Bowl window, energize their fanbase, and establish a new era of Bills football characterized by relentless pass rush, stout defense, and championship ambitions. As rumors swirl and negotiations heat up, it's clear that the Bills are not content with just making the playoffs. They want to win it all. Fans should stay alert because this offseason could be remembered as one of the most pivotal in franchise history, and Khalil Mack's jersey might soon become a familiar sight at Highmark Stadium. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Buffalo Bills. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news. Let's keep this passion alive and continue supporting our team through every twist and turn of this exciting offseason.